after knowing the discovery of a magnet, we should know few things. First of all, what is a magnet? Very important thing. What is a magnet? A magnet is nothing but an object or a material which attracts another objects, metal objects, very importantly. So an object or a material which attracts other metal objects, they are called as a magnet. These metal the magnet attracts metal objects like iron, steel, cobalt, all the metals that we have in the periodic table, which you will study, or I hope all of you have already seen in the previous classes. So a magnet always attracts metallic objects. What is a magnet? A magnet is nothing but one object which attracts another metal object. Like you can see here, there is a magnet and it is attracting the iron nail. So attraction is a very important property of a magnet. A magnet always attracts other metal objects, right? And sometimes it also attracts other objects, for example alloys, metal alloys, which is a combination of 2 or 3 metals that you will see. Then there are different types of a magnet. There are basically 2 ways in which we put types of a magnet. So first method we will see here. Magnets are always classified into 2 groups. One is known as a natural magnet, right? And the second type of a magnet is known as an artificial magnet. So there are 2 types of a magnet. Number 1, a natural magnet, and the second type of a magnet is called as artificial magnet. So what is a natural magnet? A magnet that occurs naturally in the sense, if you go outside you will see a rock there. So if that rock is a magnetite or it behaves like a magnet, that is naturally occurring. That means no human being or no one has made it. It is automatically coming out of the earth surface, at the earth surface. So a magnet that occurs naturally, no one has made it, or naturally or automatically it is there in the ground. Okay, so a magnet that occurs naturally in nature is called a natural magnet. Okay, so we have seen the story of a shepherd where the natural magnet was already present. He was not even knowing about it, but he found out. So that is also known as, the piece of a rock is also known as a lodestone, or we also call it as a magnetite. Magnetite is a natural ore. I hope all of you have heard about ore. Ores are basically what you can say, impure form of metals. We do some processes, chemical separation and all that, and then we obtain metals. For example, if we have to obtain iron, so then we should first find iron ore. Iron ore occurs naturally. We take that iron ore, we put it in the lab, do some processes, cleaning, and then we obtain iron. Similarly, magnetite is a form of an iron ore actually. So you can say the natural magnet is nothing but magnetite. A very good example of a magnet, it looks somewhat like this, a simple old rusty rock. This is what is known as a magnetite, which is also an ore, right? Then the second type of a magnet, that is artificial magnet. Artificial magnet is basically a magnet that is made by man. So man has a human being has a property of, very important property of tailoring something. Tailoring means cutting, cropping. Okay, so depending on, for example, let's say there is a tree standing there. If we want that tree to be used for what you call sofa set, so we will cut it and then we will make a sofa set out of it. If we want that wood from the tree to make a bed, then we will cut it and we will make it into a bed. Okay, similarly magnets are also cut into shapes which are very useful. When you will study about this, these shapes are very useful, okay, for electrical purposes and many other uses that you are going to see in classes. Also you will see in this lesson also how this is used. So the magnets which are made by man is known as an artificial magnet, or also we call it as a man-made magnet. Fine. So there are some types of a man-made magnets or artificial magnets which are very useful. First you can see here a bar magnet. It is like a what you can say, a rectangular block. Okay, rectangular block. Okay, like a bar of a Kit Kat or maybe dairy milk. This is how it should be, a straight. So that is what is known as a bar magnet. Then you have a ring magnet. This type of a magnet is known as a horseshoe magnet, right? And there is another type of a magnet, you will see a disc magnet in your laboratory. And then also this needle you can see here, it is a magnetic needle which is used in magnetic compass. Okay, magnetic compass is used to find the directions, north and south directions, when a sailor is sailing in a sea, because there is no actually banners which is pointing towards you should go this side, arrows pointing that side. Okay, so they have to depend on the magnetic compass. Very very importantly, we have seen what is a magnet. A magnet is nothing but an object or a material which attracts another material or an object, metal object. And then we also know that magnets can be divided into two types. One is known as a natural magnet, a magnet which occurs naturally. Okay, no one has touched it, no one is doing anything. Also it is known as a magnetite, a naturally occurring magnet. Then a second type of a magnet is artificial magnet, a magnet which is used by human beings, which is made by man for different purposes, is known as is called as artificial or man-made magnet. Very very important. Then we know that every magnet has got two poles. You would have studied in say 9th standard, maybe in 8th standard also. What is, so first of all, what does it mean to say pole of a magnet? So magnet has two poles. So what is a pole? A pole is nothing but region near the ends of a magnet. If you take a bar magnet or a horseshoe magnet, you will see that magnet has two ending points. Okay, so near those ending points, okay, region near the end points where magnet of a magnet, where the force of attraction is very very strong. Okay, all of you kindly remember this. This has been asked in CBSE objectives. Okay, so region near the edge of a magnet where the force of attraction is very very strong is called a pole. Now because a magnet is having two edges like this, it has two sides. One corner is this side, another corner is this side. At these corners you will see, if you put iron nail, it will quickly attract, right? But if we put the iron nails away from it to a larger distance, it will take some time to attract. But if we put that iron nail very very far away, it will not attract. Why? How? That we will study in coming classes. So right now we have to know there are two poles, the edges of a magnet. At the ends of a magnet, the magnetic forces of attraction are very very strong. Therefore these poles are known as, these edges, they are called poles, north pole and a south pole. Then every magnet basically has two poles, a north pole and a south pole, right? If you break a magnet from the middle, okay, automatically if you take a north pole and you have broken it from the middle, then the other side will automatically become a south pole. Okay, so then again if you take the broken pieces and you break it again there will be two opposite poles coming out of it. So a magnet, no matter how, no matter what you are doing, how much time you are breaking, it will always have two poles, right? Because a magnet has two poles, we also call it as dipole. Di means two. Okay, so very importantly, what is pole? Pole is nothing but the region near the ends of a magnet or the edges of a magnet where the force of attraction is very very strong, is known as a pole. Every magnet has two poles, north pole and a south pole. Then also because every magnet has two poles, we call them as dipole. Di means two and pole means the region or points where the force of magnetic force of attraction is very very strong. Now the first question that should come to your mind is, we have seen a lodestone, right? We have seen a magnetite, it is completely black rock. How do you find if we are given with such a rock, how to find out which is North Pole and which is South Pole. A very, very important question that we will see how to find the poles of a magnet if it is not written on the magnet, right? To understand this, uh, how to find a magnet, we have to first see something about our Earth. Okay,